All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Bangkok, Thailand. Good afternoon, Minsk. And don't forget, Pelzer, South Carolina. Here we are, MadPark Podcast, MadPark Music Cast, Music Pass Podcast, whatever the fuck we are this week. Anyway, today we got a couple of really kick-ass, related, but not tied at the hip, roles in the music industry around Charlotte. We'll introduce those guys in just a minute, but first...
Hey, it's Brian.
That'd be Brian Satina, my partner here at MadPark, and not in a personal sense, but in a business sense.
Yes.
I always say, hey, my partner Brian, my partner is... It's not a homophobic thing. I just like to let them know that's business, man. I'm not in love with him.
We are both married to human women.
Yes. Well, yeah, sure. All right. JJ, we know you from...
Swamp78. I play bass.
Yeah. I play the hell out of it, too.
I try.
Yeah. And just a belated thank you again for helping us out with that amp last summer at Oso Skate Park.
Thank you.
Saving the evening. We were dead in the water without it, so we appreciate it. We also have Ryan Williams here.
Hey there. Ryan Williams from Time2Fly Music.
There you go. Ryan is a longtime promoter and purveyor of musical goodness in not just around Charlotte, but also out in the heartland.
Oklahoma, Denver, some other places.
Yeah. Denver, Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a Denver right up the street.
Definitely not Denver, North Carolina.
Come on, man. Come on, give it up for Highway 16.
The musical hotbed that is Denver, North Carolina.
Hashtag all Denvers matter.
Right. Listen, man, I crack jokes, okay? Not you.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
So we kind of know JJ a little bit from playing some shows. Kind of just met Ryan a little bit. Can you guys give everybody just like a crash course in your backgrounds if you want to start, JJ?
I played in Swamp78. We started about last year. Our first show was actually with you guys at Oso Skate Park. That was our first show. We were kind of worried that we weren't going to get it because when we messaged Brian, he was like, "Do you guys have any links to the playing?" I was like, "I have like a practice of us playing, but we don't actually have a."
I think I remember his return email. Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. We'll do it. And,
Well, take it.
So since then, we've been playing a lot of shows. We actually released an EP last year called How Do We End Up Here? It's got a picture of a narwhal on the front of it. Not a too big fan of that. But
explain to people out there, myself included, what a narwhal is. Is that one of those
I'm
things
not
with the big
100%
harpoon
sure,
on the
but
front?
I'm really just think it's a whale with the harpoon on its forehead.
that's what
The
I thought.
unicorn of the sea.
Unicorn of the sea. I want to
Except
fight
it
one, but I
exists.
feel like I'd end up getting
Yeah, that's right.
speared somehow.
Yeah. Well, there's like one or two left. Let's kill it. Why don't we?
I mean, why not? There's only 2 left.
Fucking A.
All right, Ryan, your background crash course.
Let's see, my company, like I said, it's called Time2Fly Music. I grew up in Oklahoma. We had a terrible music scene in Stillwater where I grew up, and buddy bought a bar, so I just started booking music and realized I was pretty good at it and moved to Denver, Colorado, and did it for a couple years there and got a job offer out here from Intrepid Artist, who's a great booking agency out there. And did that for a year here in Charlotte, and now I've just been independently booking my own shows here in the last 7 years or so. I book everything from jam bands to funk to bluegrass to hip-hop shows, jazz, funk, all kinds of stuff.
What are some of the venues you book at?
Or
Or do you have a certain weapon of choice, one particular place you really like?
I throw most of my shows at Heist Brewery.
like that
I've
place.
thrown shows. I do too. I like it a lot. But I've thrown shows at Evening Muse, Neighborhood Theater, Visualite, Rabbit Hole, and about 10 other breweries in town. So
I like that, like the tapas out at Heist Brewery. Is that how you pronounce that?
Tapas?
No, Heist.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
topless.
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 Topless tapas.
Top
Ooh.
of
Okay. Have you
We're onto
played?
something.
Have you played at any of those venues, JJ?
No, not yet. I'm trying to. I want to play the neighborhood theater at some point, but haven't gotten a chance to yet. So we might have to link up after.
We could probably make something happen.
I'm all for that.
Me too.
That's one of the most friendly exchanges between a promoter and a musician I've ever seen.
I am all about collaboration.
I mean, if you want, we can be angry at each other a little later. Like,
We can do
Yeah,
that.
we'll get there. I'll
We'll
steer
get
you in
there.
that direction.
Yeah, awesome.
So what were your influences, JJ, in kind of wanting to play bass? And was that what you always wanted to play?
No, it actually isn't. When I first started, I wanted to play drums when I was a kid, but as my mom said, they were too loud. So she
Air
gave
quotes.
me a trumpet and then kicked me out of the
A
house.
trumpet's not loud?
That's what I said. A trumpet's just as loud as a drum
my
kit,
God.
but so I
And the
started.
bad notes from a trumpet are real bad.
Yeah.
And I play nothing but bad notes on the trumpet.
Yeah, and the drums, it's just bang, bang, bang. You know, you're only
Right.
going to know, well, it's really not on rhythm, but
Right,
it sounds the same.
Right. So after college, it basically came back to me and my cousin was our old band that we played in. We basically on a dared each other to learn how to play instruments. I still couldn't play drums because I was still living with my parents, and they're like, no, we don't want those too loud. So I decided to play bass, which as a lefty, isn't the best thing in the world just because you can't really find any bases. But I started playing there. We were in an old band before. It's called Playing Sarcasm. Played for a while, broke up. And then I met Josh, who's our singer now, in Swamp78. We were roommates for a while. And that's how we decided, like, we both play. Let's get this going. It took us a while to get it going. We finally found David. And then we found Ben who's our new guitarist, at a Christmas party from the Dirty Lowdowns Christmas party. So you guys are familiar with them.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to Quinn on that one for hooking us up. And then now we're just writing. We're getting ready to release a new album hopefully later this year. Just got to fine-tune everything.
Back to the roommate, temporary, or you said you were a roommate for a while.
Yeah, we were roommates
How long?
for about a year because we worked at Best Buy together. That's how
Okay.
we met. So we weren't the best of friends when we first met, but
But now you're total enemies.
Yeah, completely. So
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because that can do shit to you.
When you don't like each other, what's next? You just move in. That's usually how
It could be
that's how it
fodder
goes.
for some good songwriting.
It worked out pretty well. So we've been knowing each other for about 7 years now. So it's like we're basically like that now.
Ryan, I know you promote, but do you play any music instruments? Do you sing? Are you
I,
musical at all, other than just the love for music?
I grew up playing some instruments. I haven't played in quite a while. I played baseball in college.
That's
So-
not an instrument.
No, but
It's an instrument of
I was
sport.
more focused on throwing a baseball hard instead of
Me
playing
too.
guitar for
No,
some
I'm
reason.
riddled with arthritis.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, I'm hurting right now.
Yeah.
Phillips, I played baseball in high school. I don't have
I
arthritis though.
didn't. I was just asking
Yes,
Ryan.
but
That's mine and Ryan's thing.
You are probably 30 years younger than Tom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have a
there's-
birthday
positive.
coming up this weekend.
Happy blank number
50th
birthday. 50,
50.
really?
Big,
Yeah.
big one.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah,
Not
me
at
neither.
all.
But that's only because I don't remember what year I was born.
Exactly.
And he's-
You have no first-hand knowledge of your actual birthday.
Yeah.
For all you know, people are lying
Yeah, I
to
was
you.
just there. I was always there. Omnipotent. Omniscient.
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
No, not I'm. I
Omnipotent.
can still have sex.
Are you
Where's
sure?
this going?
I don't know.
It's impotent.
Impotent.
I'm well aware of words.
As
Thank you,
long as
guys.
it's a tint.
Wordsmith Tom.
As long
over
as it's
here.
patent. Jesus Christ.
What about Ryan? What got you wanting to do that job of booking and promoting? I know you said
Instead of
going-
being a rock star, why did
Right.
you want to promote the rock
Just
stars?
growing up in this town in Oklahoma that was a college town where Oklahoma State is, we had a chance to have a great music scene, but it was all just the same country music, and that's all we got all the time. And as I started to get into bands like good live bands like Widespread Panic and Fish and stuff like that really cultivate a scene like the Grateful Dead, I started saying, why can't we do this in a college town? And I just started emailing people because I noticed they're playing Dallas and then they're playing Kansas City, but they're not playing Tuesday, Wednesday anywhere.
Skipping right over you.
And people come out any night of the week in a college town, so we started throwing Tuesday and Wednesday shows, and everyone I emailed said yes.
Did you get any of those bands like Widespread or Fish?
No, of course not.
Okay, sorry.
Fish gets paid $1 million every
I
time
know
they
those,
play.
and damn, they're impressive.
Yes, they
I was
are.
never into that kind of stuff, and my buddy Mike Foch, if you're out there, Fochman, hello. He got me into Fish and Widespread, and then of course we worked our way back to some of the old stuff, but because I consider that the newer stuff because
Sure.
it was out in the early 90s.
Sure.
But Fish is, if you never listened to them, very impressive as musicians and notoriously nice guys too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. We were down in New Orleans, and Mike Gordon was out all weekend hitting up shows. Just came back from Jazz Fest. I need about 3 more naps, and I'll be back to normal.
where's the name Time to Fly come from?
It's from a Widespread Panic song called Surprise Valley. There's a line in there that says, goodbye, it's time to fly. I didn't name it myself. It was already a company that my buddy started in Dallas.
Gotcha.
But he was booking shows, and I had no idea what I was doing. We started linking bands up back and forth from Oklahoma to
So you
Dallas.
just decided to be a
And he
branch.
said, hey, you can start booking shows under my name. Here's an email. And said, okay, cool, sounds good.
A lot of
I'm doing
REO
what I'm doing.
Speedwagon fans started
Yeah,
calling,
of course,
hey, I like your
of
name.
course. Yeah, we get tons of calls that are hilarious. I saved some voicemails.
Are you a Kevin Cronin tribute band? That's anyway, Google it.
Yeah, I don't
young
know what
people.
that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Enough with the age discrimination.
I'm not being
Ageism.
discriminative. I'm
It's
just saying
only
I don't know who
ageist.
that is.
And your first gig you ever promoted, the first gig you ever played, JJ.
Okay.
And I already know what that gig was because you just told us.
Right.
Well, right.
What was positive about your experience with the promoter? What was positive, Ryan, with your experience with the musicians? Ready? Go.
With the promoter, he just made everything, and by he, I mean Brian, just made everything really smooth. He was like, okay, this is the time you need to be there.
Almost
You're
sure
gonna
I
play.
helped with that show.
You
Butthole.
did introduce us, which is the best introduction ever.
Thank you.
But we didn't really have any expectations because at the end of the day, we were like, we're a nobody. We're just trying to build something here.
We suck
And-
too.
I mean, hey, let's suck together.
Gross.
Weird, but so we just sent out a bunch of emails like, hey, if you can come out to a skate park and listen to us play while people are like skating in the background, do it. And then the train showed up. I remember when that happened.
Oh,
which
that was awesome.
That was hilarious. It was. But there was really no expectation. A bunch of people actually did show up wearing our merch too.
You guys
which
had a
was
lot of people come out.
crazy,
Man.
and yeah,
I
we
was
really
impressed.
did. So I was impressed.
A lot of groupies.
How do you feel it went? Like,
It went
your
really, really
performance?
well. After as we talked about, I was like, that probably was the best case scenario because we all expected to either forget our parts or not be able to hear, just because I guess their PA system was broken or didn't work.
It wasn't the best, and the girl that was trying to
Right.
sound check was just the girl that works there at the counter, and she's a sharp girl, but she's not a sound tech. And she did damn good for what she had to work with.
Small part of me feels like we came in there at the same time they were starting to do shows. Like
Yeah.
now they're doing them all the time.
Right.
But I feel like we were just like at that beginning stage of them. So they
We're like
weren't
the
really
guy at the bus stop waiting for you to get off the bus from Oklahoma and be like, hey, kid.
So
What
you're
you
the
doing?
guy that told Axl Rose he was going to die when he got off the bus and
No,
walked in the
that's
jungle.
stupid, man. That video sucks, and his
I mean,
story's
the video
lies.
does suck, but
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, yeah.
Sorry, I got mad about the 80s.
it
I
a
was
good
there,
time.
JJ.
I was there for the last 10 months of it, if that
What?
counts.
That don't even count, man.
I said if. You got to meet me halfway if I'm
That's
going
like
to
me saying I was there for the last 7 months of the 60s,
I mean, that, you
which
were,
is bizarre, and I was.
Yeah, it's weird.
Congratulations
So-
on that one.
Yep.
69 was a good year. I wasn't around for it, but it was a good year. Outside of that, only thing I could actually hear at the show was David's drum set, which as a bass player, awesome. As probably a guitarist and a singer, not so much. But outside of that, it went pretty well. We met some really good people in the Dirty Lowdown. That's the first time we actually met them. So now we're
They are
really
good
friends
guys.
with them. I love those
And
guys.
ladies.
And ladies too. Jess, she now does rookie music, so we're really good friends with her.
Yep. She comes and hangs out and puts unrealistic demands on us for producing her merchandise. And
Yeah.
we typically, when she's not there, say, man, I mean, come on, she's family, but we need like 2 weeks for this bullshit, not 2 days. And then she gets there and be like, oh, have it ready in 10 minutes.
Shout out to Jess.
Shout out to Jess.
She's a talented young lady, and she's real fun to be around.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Ryan?
All right, the first show I ever booked, I had just started going to music festivals around Oklahoma and Kansas, like Wakarusa and some of these. Saw this band from Lake Tahoe, California, called Blue Turtle Seduction. Great name. And
It is an awesome
Yeah,
name.
it's an awesome name, and they were a great band. And I just emailed them and said, "You want to play?" And they were like, "Sure." And I told them what they could get paid, and they said, "What time's load in?" And I was like, "What's a load in?" And they said, "Do you have a PA?" And I was like, "What's a PA?" And I just had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And I've 100% taught myself since then how to do this job. I've never gone to a class about it. Just learned by making stupid
Sounds like
emails
us.
like that.
Sounds
Yeah,
like us.
right. You learn on the fly. Time to fly, whatever.
Thanks,
back.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
What kind of music were they?
They had an electric mandolin, but they had drums. It was
Bizarre.
kind of what you call jamgrass music, I suppose, but with drums.
I was going to say Norwegian black metal.
Yes, precisely. Nailed it.
Pretty close.
Yes.
All right. Nice. How do you feel that show went?
It was the most packed that place had ever been at that point for live music, so it went extremely well.
If it sounds good,
It's
show
all
goes
been
great.
downhill from there, of course, but such is the music business.
Ryan, I know you just handed me a note. You want to know what JJ stands for.
Yeah.
Julius Jones. That's what my dad and great granddad tell me.
Former pro football player
Yep.
who was mediocre, by the way. You're a better bass player than he was a football player. I, can tell
I
you
would
that.
hope so. He was getting Notre Dame, but not so
He
much
was
on the
okay.
Cowboys
He
and
bounced around a
Seahawks.
little bit, yeah.
Nobody likes Notre Dame, so it's fine.
Who does?
No one likes Notre Dame.
No,
no.
it's a weird deal. Irish Catholic.
They like
I mean, nobody
Rudy,
likes
but that's
Catholics
about
or
it.
Irish, so
It's like seriously,
That
if you
whole
want to play
pedophile
football,
thing.
be in a division.
yeah, it wasn't funny like that. Yeah.
What about Swamp78?
That name came up again back to me and Josh being roommates. We were playing. We couldn't decide what we wanted to call ourselves.
One of you was born in 1978 and had a case of swamp ass during the summer.
Exactly.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna go with this one instead.
Okay.
So basically, one day he went to work. He's like, "If you think of a name, just text it to me." And I'm kind of an asshole when it comes to stuff like that. So
no.
who would have
No.
thought? Every single name I can think of, I texted all at once. So in total, he counted out, I think it was 787
Jesus
names
Christ,
that I
dude.
texted him. And it actually...
Jesus.
It
No, that's
messed-
one of the band names.
Exactly. It
No
probably
comma.
was. It actually messed up his phone. He had to reset the phone, which is hilarious. And he didn't like any of them. So he was pissed off about
Do
me
you
about
remember
that.
any of the names?
It was like Echo Forest, which is actually a street off Independence. Audio Wave, like Black
very electric.
Magic something. It was
Very
just
metal.
Sounds like Audio Slave.
just
Yeah,
every
yeah.
pretty much where I stole it from.
How about
Shout out to Audio Slave for
how
that.
about Schmack Sabbath?
How about
there's a Max Sabbath.
Yeah,
They
Max
play with
Zach
Tilica.
Sabbath.
They play with Oakley Dokley.
But
Ever seen those guys?
Yes,
Don't dress
the-
like
Ned
Ned
Flanders.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
so
let's
once
focus.
he got home, he was so mad that he went and bought like a bottle of liquor because he's like, I can't deal with your bullshit right now. So we're just sitting around drinking, playing Halo, and then he's like, what if we just do
That's
like
a game on Atari.
Yeah. Probably Atari,
Uh,
Nintendo, work your way up to Xbox at some point. I wonder if they're ever gonna do that.
It came out at the same time Echo the Dolphin came out.
Oh yeah, that's a game that
Asteroids.
we played while listening to Fish in 1992.
And he's like, let's just do the name and number thing, see if that works out. And I'm like, that's stupid. What are we gonna name ourselves? Swamp78 or some dumb shit?
Did
He's
you just
like,
say it just
yeah,
like
I
that?
said it just like that. And he's like, I like it, and it just
I
stuck.
do too.
I like it now too. And people always ask like, where'd you get that name from? Does it mean anything? Nope. Just this 10-minute conversation I'm gonna
You
give
have
you.
to start telling them. I was born in '78. Got
See,
a case of
you
swamp ass
We
right
spent
now.
hours making up a list of 700 names when you could have just verbal diarrhea.
But I do that with
Swamp78.
everything. I did the same thing with the name of the album.
Well, I did the same thing last football season with fantasy football team names.
Yeah,
There was 3 pages of it. Yeah, that's what I do with my time instead of focusing on my schoolwork. What was the other one?
The Dallas
Dallas Plowboys.
Dallas Plowboys.
All of them had some kind of sexual connotation to it.
Inappropriate.
We're all 12-year-olds forever.
11 and growing.
Yeah.
13 going on 30.
I think that's a sucky movie, but I'm not sure.
I never saw it. so
Must
I
have been
couldn't
Jennifer
tell.
Aniston.
Was
With
it
Adam
Jennifer?
Sandler.
Was it?
Next idea. Adam
Wasn't the
Sandler
other
is a
Jennifer?
13-year-old girl.
And Rob Schneider is a stapler.
Yeah. What about the marketing stuff, Ryan? Like, you clearly have to do a lot of that yourself, probably.
There is not a whole lot of that in this town that seems available. I think Queen City Nerve is coming around and going to do a great job for, like you said, your buddies with Ryan, and they're only a 2-3-man team right now, and they're doing a great job getting the word out there. Not sure what happened over at Creative Loafing.
Dumpster fire, I think, but
Yeah,
It stopped. That's what
we
happened.
just my friend Eric just recently started a blog here in town called Records on the Wall, and we're trying to cover mostly local music and shows that are going on in town.
Are you contributing to that also?
Yeah, I've written a few articles. My girlfriend's written a few articles, and we're gonna start hopefully shooting some content of local bands like Swamp78 or something at a place like this, and putting out blogs about them with some good live video that these bands need to get their name out there and book gigs.
oh yeah. I mean,
There's a severe lack of it in this town.
I agree.
Yeah.
You got a website or anything for
Time2Fly music. Oh, Rex on the Wall. RECS.
RECS on
Yeah,
the wall?
On the wall. Yep. Or Records on the Wall on Facebook or Instagram.
yeah,
Is that a .com, a .gov, a .org?
RexOnTheWall.com.
Damn, big time.
I was hoping it was .gov.
That'd be sweet, dude. You'd be like, who the fuck's paying for this? We are.
your tax dollars?
Money.
No, but
Mexico.
Tom and I found ourselves getting really into the music stuff after we did the T-shirts. So I mean, we're trying to promote as much as like help promote you. We promote everybody
Yeah.
we can.
It's,
wherever we can.
it's easy to be into it where we are over here at the
There is.
Playroom,
There's so many
916
good
Tuckasegee.
musicians. So many good musicians in this town, and there's a lot of not fighting. There's just a lot of people who don't come out to see other people's shows, or don't help promote their friends' shows. Even say you're playing a show on this side of town, why wouldn't you promote your friend's show over here? You know, you're all whatever's good for you. If people come out to see live music, that is good for you and good for myself as a promoter. So
Yeah, and people like me, they want to check out different venues. I can't go.
Absolutely.
I don't go to as many shows as I used to, but I do like to go. I went to Hattie's for the first time, I guess, earlier this year.
you can't beat playing Mario Kart while seeing a band.
I'm not into that so
Oh, I
much. I
love
just
it.
like seeing the bathroom.
We're actually playing them. I'm playing there on Friday.
Oh, really?
At Hattie's, yeah.
That's awesome. Swamp78 at Hattie's on Friday, people.
May 17th.
7 p.m. is when it starts. It's us, Mutt, and Retro Hicks from Greensboro. I think they are.
Retro
cool.
Hicks.
Cool. Yeah,
Check.
I like Hattie's. It's a good atmosphere.
I do like
It
them.
really is.
Check out the Tip Top Market next door. You can go.
Yeah, I like that.
You can go grab a beer and go vinyl digging.
They'll throw you a pizza in the oven too. Take
Yeah.
about 10, 15 minutes. It's damn good. And there was a food truck out front that did. I had beef brisket tacos and something else. It was damn good.
And if you like tacos, about the best taco place in town's a block away. Tamales La Pasadita.
Okay, listen, college boy. I speak French, not whatever that was.
Hey, you should go check it out if you
Okay.
like tacos.
College boy. What about
I did go to college for.
God bless you, because that joke would have went nowhere without truth.
what about first concerts you've seen? I know Tom's, and he'll talk about it all day. But what about first concert? Well, let me go this way. What's the first concert you ever saw, but what's the best concert you ever saw? They could be different.
Give me the best. Give me the first.
Yeah.
Best concert I ever saw was Alter Bridge. My favorite band. I saw them in 2016. They came to the Fillmore.
Alter Bridge?
Alter Bridge, yeah.
Damn. Isn't that the guy from Creed?
All the musicians take away Scott Stapp, add a better singer who's not a douchebag.
Oh, all right.
I'm making notes over
No
here. No
douchebag.
douchebag
No
plus
douchebag.
musicians equals
Okay.
good.
That was the best one you said?
That's the best show I've ever
Okay.
seen. The first show I ever saw was Backstreet Boys in 1999. I was
working
10.
backwards from that statement.
You asked the first show I ever
All
saw.
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We asked
It's got to
for
be
it.
bad every time.
I mean, I liked them, but not too many people are going to admit that.
Backstreet.
I mean, that's the first concert I ever went to. That's not what got me started to playing
Right.
music, but that's just
Well, at
the
least you
first
went
one.
to see something instead of just sitting at home listening to it on your portable CD boombox
Could you imagine him
made
in
by
a...
Craig.
Could you
Radio
imagine
Disney.
if he really took that to heart and he was in a boy band?
No.
I can see it.
I do have the boy band look.
JJ and the Players.
Full afro, big black guy.
Oh, Lord.
What about you, Ryan?
The first band I ever saw growing up in Stillwater, Oklahoma, we got nothing coming through town. But one time we got the Wallflowers, who were Jacob Dylan, Bob
Yeah,
Dylan's
yeah.
kid. That was the first concert I ever saw. They weren't too bad.
Yeah.
You remember that terrible song, One Headlight?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
The best concert I've ever seen, oh my God, I go see like 5 a week, so that's hard to say. Probably Kamasi Washington, who's a jazz guy from San Francisco. I go on this cruise every year called Jam Cruise, which has like 40 bands from jazz bands to funk bands to jam bands, bluegrass.
Side of the boat says get jammed.
Yes, it does. And Kamasi Washington, every time I see him, just brings me to tears. He's so good.
Yeah.
That's something else.
Damn good. What about you, Brian? What was your first concert?
Actually, my first concert... I know what yours is, so it doesn't matter.
I
We
know,
come from
nothing's
different
gonna top mine,
generations.
but go ahead.
My first concert was when I was... I don't even know how old I was, but we went to see Blink-182 and Green Day, Saves the Day, and Jimmy Eat World, and those guys.
Now you can go see
Close.
Blink-182 with Lil Wayne.
Yeah, right? Blink-182 is so different now with Matt Skiba in the band, so I don't...
Who asked for that tour? Like, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, Lil Wayne likes to get high.
I don't know.
People who were high
And go
probably wanted that.
skateboarding, I
really-
guess.
Yeah, yeah. He was the first, one of the first people I saw out in the parking lot here when we first moved in over here.
What was your first concert, Tom?
Zero of your business, Brian, but it was Elvis Presley. Thank you. True
Wow.
story.
How old were you?
Me?
Yeah.
Do the math.
Say
That
it's
was
turning 50.
I was like 7.5 years old.
Yeah, okay. Your mom probably hated those moves you made. Shaking them hips. Your mom was
I
probably
think
like,
she probably
"Don't
liked it."
do it.
And she wasn't like an old lady then. She was in her third. Let's see, my mom was probably barely 30 then.
Can't believe
So
she
that was
allowed
in
you
the
to get the
70s. Wasn't he
devil
fat
and
by
get
then?
7 years old like that.
Oh, my mom and dad didn't give a shit, man. I remember the first concert I went to by myself. I was 12. I told my mom, take me out to Carowinds. They had an amphitheater out there. I don't even know if it's still open. The Palladium.
I'd never heard of
I
it.
just like saying Palladium.
Me neither.
It sounds like an element. Palladium. Atomic weight of -2. But anyway, said take me out there and drop me off. And so I saw, let's see, Sugar Hill Gang, Evelyn King, Grandmaster Flash. Can't remember who the other one was, but I went out there, had a lot of people offering me weed. I was just like, no, man, I'm like
Did you
super
inhale-
wasted
did you inhale?
already.
He was only 7.
No, I was like on heroin. That's
yeah.
what I told him. I was like, no, man, I did a shitload of heroin and smack on the way out here. The guys were like, yeah, man, whatever, dude. As if you could afford it.
I was going to say, I don't think people on heroin actually say, I just did a lot of heroin.
Well, when you just did it and the needle's still in your arm, yes, you say that.
Okay.
Hey, guys, I just did a lot of heroin.
Oh my God, what's going on here? Who's Evelyn King? Her voice is like champagne. It's a joke, Brian. That's her nickname. Can we carry on? It's not about me.
It's about the heroin.
Exactly. They call it smack because I'll smack you to take your heroin.
Do you have a specific... Ryan's for you. Do you have a specific genre of music you like to book more often than not? Or do you enjoy...
Or is
I-
jam band your thing?
Jam bands is such a strange term because at a jam band festival, you can see anything from a funk band to a bluegrass band to Medeski, Martin, and Wood, who are some of the best jazz musicians of all time on the planet. So just because you play extended solos,
Right. Fish
can
is
get-
not Almond Brothers, so there's a good difference
right,
for
they're
generic
played-
terms right there.
yeah. So, but you can still throw Tower of Power or Earth, Wind, and Fire on a jam band show and no one cares. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, yeah, I lean towards the jazz and the funk stuff. I think that's more of a party atmosphere, which I like to throw more of a party show.
Yeah.
So that's more what I lean towards. But I like throwing hip hop shows and stuff like that too. Local people hit me up. I've thrown De Niro Ferrar some shows.
Right.
What was the last gig you booked at?
Let's see. I had Nate Smith just in town on Friday at Heist. He plays drums with some guys from Wolfpack and Snarky Puppy. And
yep, I've heard of them. I actually have a dog named Snarky.
Nice.
Yeah, she's quite the asshole.
Nate, of course.
Smaller than my shoe, attitude bigger than your dick.
Nate's last album got nominated for a Grammy. He's just phenomenal, kind of abstract jazz, hip hop, sort of Jay Dilla kind of thing going on.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
And now we're going to have an actual aficionado in here. This is nice.
What's the next gig you got lined up?
Let's see. This Friday at Heist, I have some guys from Marcus King Band playing. I don't know if you're familiar with Marcus. He started playing guitar real young age and signed with Warren Haynes from the Allman Brothers on his record label, and he was about 16 years old. And he has gone from me booking him at the Rabbit Hole to 100 people to playing the PNC Amphitheater.
Damn.
Yeah.
Impressive.
In like 6 years. So he's on his way to like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stardom. But I got some guys from his band playing with a jamgrass band from Boulder this Friday called 10th Mountain Division. They just played the Aiken Bluegrass Festival down in Aiken, South Carolina this past weekend.
Anybody else in here ever been to Aiken? Or Allendale or one of the surrounding areas?
I do a lot of work in
Not
the
that I can
Aiken
remember.
County area.
You're not in that area. You're doing work with their mug shots. What about you, JJ?
I have not been in that area.
A lot of peach orchards, a lot of houses, a lot of centralized poverty. But Aiken, there's some money in Aiken.
Mm-hmm. But
It's
not
a cool
in the
area.
centralized poverty, though.
Well, on the outskirts.
Okay,
It's
cool.
just a weird deal if you go out there. I went to an original, like one of the original built from the 60s KFC in Allendale, South Carolina one time. Still had the same vinyl chairs and everything in it. And, I mean, I've done some fucked up shit in my life, and it scared me to be in there.
That's how I felt in Mississippi.
That
Well,
might be how
I said
everybody
fucked up
feels in
shit.
this
I
city.
mean,
Yeah.
that's the term on their state seal. It's in Latin, but it says fucked up shit.
Well, I know you mentioned you got a show JJ Friday.
Yeah, Friday at
What else
Hatties.
is going on?
Next week, Thursday, we're playing at Skylark with Lokia and Hail Your Highness. They're from Michigan. And Fear Until Fury, they're from Charlotte also.
Oh yeah. Have you played at Skylark before?
Yeah, we played Skylark last November.
Do you like it there?
I do like it that their stage is a little smaller, but it gives you more room to walk around the crowd. I like playing in the crowd, so.
Okay.
Do you like jump up in it with the bass?
Crowd surf?
If they can catch me, yeah. I'm not the
Not-
smallest person in the world.
Okay, well, I wasn't implying danger to the patrons. I just meant, do you walk up
I'll
in
walk up
amongst
to
them?
them. I'll walk up to them. I'll actually hold the bass out and tell them what note to play, and I'll just fret it for them.
Yeah, that's
But
like an agnostic front move right there. I like it.
And I know Ryan, you did I don't want to call it a festival, but you did a big event at Heist last year, right?
We'll call it a one-day festival,
One-day
sure.
festival. Are you planning to do that again?
Yeah, we're going to do another one. Last year we called it the Crown Town Get Down at Heist. I had 16 local bands and about 25 vendors play. We built an outside stage and used the indoor stage, and we had bands play punk music, bluegrass music, hip-hop, every single genre of music, but it was all local Charlotte bands. I'm going to do that again on a smaller scale June 15th at Heist. If you guys are available, I'd like to have you play.
I will definitely talk to the guys about that June 15th
Yeah.
festival. If you don't play, I'll probably just punch one of them.
Yeah, let me know. I
Come out there
usually
and get some of that big-ass pizza next door.
absolutely
Sweet.
Benny's. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Size of
Damn
your
good.
head.
Bigger than my head, actually.
What was the
I got two slices.
What was the brainchild behind wanting to do that?
Just the fact that, like I said earlier, a lot of musicians, I work with a lot of different local bands in this town, more than most promoters, because they're booking places like the Fillmore who just don't have the opportunity for local bands to play. So I'm more on the ground and with the local scene, and a lot of these people blew my mind that they didn't know each other, but they're playing similar genres of music. So I was like, why don't I throw an all-day show where everyone can just meet each other and play shows together, was the general idea behind that.
They got to have something to do in between the acts.
Exact, and a lot of bands are playing all the time. You don't get to go see other bands when you're not playing. When you are playing, you know what I mean?
Good way to build a fan base for all the bands.
Well, the best way
Even
to,
amongst the other bands.
the best way to build a fan base, in my opinion, is to go see other band shows as a band.
I agree.
100%.
We had a couple bands come to the gig out of Oso.
Yeah.
And
The Hattie show, too, a bunch of...
yeah.
It's always I've been booking shows for 5 years on a small scale, and every time it's always like I'm doing a show and then a band is there and they're like, hey, I want to be on one of these, and or two bands are there and they're like, hey, can I play a show with you next time at this place or whatever, and it's networking.
I will say Charlotte's really good at that. A lot of the local bands do go out to go see other local bands that maybe other cities don't do, but I will give them credit for that. A lot of bands do that.
You have to do it.
As a musician, do you feel like the city's lacking anything, like on it, terms of more places to play or an easier way to get into certain places?
No, I don't think it's really lacking. It's really, in this day, you have to promote yourself. It's not like it used to be where people would, I guess, hear you and then try to find you. Now it's, you have to send your material out. You have to go out to shows, talk to the promoters, talk to the owners of places. It's, the opportunity is there. You just have to be how much you want to actually go into.
You have a lot of ways and avenues to promote yourself now.
Right. And
social media
social media,
you
which
got
you didn't have
3
before.
automatically that anybody can use. And then you've always got the band Facebook page and Instagram and all that stuff. And then each member of the band. So it can splinter out really quickly.
Absolutely.
Like you said, my Facebook and my email are full of emails from people I've never met. The best way to get a show booked by me is to come talk to me. I'm very easy to find out where I am.
I agree, and I'm that guy. Like, I don't really sleep much, so you'll see me sometimes 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, just like putting up posters of our stuff.
It's
our
much
shows
harder to
coming
say
up.
no to someone's face than
shopping
it is
for
over
mannequins
email.
online.
Exactly. I do need a half mannequin, which was a very weird question to ask on Facebook.
We've got a child-sized mannequin in our display room in there. It's really super creepy.
Yeah, it's yours if you want it.
Thought you said you didn't like
would
Notre
probably
Dame.
take that.
But I think Ryan too's doing it right too, in the sense of like breweries seem to be kind of your bread and butter. And
Oh, I
we're
thought
in
you
a-
meant the grotesque, quasi-sexual sarcasm.
Oh, no,
Because that's
no.
what I do, and so I think I found a soulmate here.
Okay,
Definitely.
Right. That's another podcast for after hours. But the breweries seem to be kind of your bread and butter, if I'm right. And we live in
Or your yeast and malt.
Yeast and malt, that's
All
right.
All right. And
It is shower
it wasn't even-
powder
it wasn't
season,
even
you know.
funny. But
That was a lead into using powder.
all right.
Jesus, Brian. Terrible.
But you are correct. Yes,
Yeah.
the breweries are definitely one of the better spots to hit in this town because, man, it's just that's what people do in this town is go to breweries.
Seems like it.
It's the most popular scene in the entire town out of everything. They take their kids, their dogs. There's a built-in crowd.
Let me stop for a minute and ask you guys a question. How do you feel about, well, dogs, it's a whole thing. I love dogs. I don't need a dog at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's in my way. But bringing kids to a place where people are getting boozed and liquored up, how do you feel about that?
I don't think you ever see people getting super shitty though at a brewery
It's
necessarily.
probably nothing different than what they see at home with their parents. Like, people get boozed up everywhere.
They
Home,
do, but I don't, it just weirds me out a little bit.
As a kid, like, I knew my parents, I'm not saying they were alcoholics, but I knew that they drank. So
But at least they're at home.
they're at home. They drank when we went to parties. I mean, it never
Yeah, I
really.
get that.
As a
I've just
kid,
been
it never
dragging them
really
out there.
bothered me or anything. But if the kid's having fun, the parents having fun, they're being responsible.
Like the play
it
set in the
doesn't-
playhouse in front of the brewery down in an area that Brian and I are in a lot. It kind of weirds me out, and it's right beside a major road. And I'm thinking, okay, one of these people's going to get wasted, and that kid's going to wander off and catch a ride home. They're
They're
going
going
to
to catch a Darwin Award is what they're going to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, neither of those things happen.
I don't know. I'm funny like that. I'm old school when it comes to that. What were you going to say, Ryan?
People
about
getting
that?
hurt, or
I was going to say, as a purveyor of the local brewery scene, as long as your kid's sitting next to you and you're talking to your kid and they're not running around playing tag and stuff.
Wearing a Notre Dame shirt.
Right. Looking for a local priest.
Hey, where's the diocese?
Yeah.
The guy gave me his card.
Yeah, I don't mind the kids as long as they're not being little assholes, but that's what kids are, is little assholes, so.
Yeah. We're grown-up assholes.
Right.
Yeah, I think you make a good point.
the asshole never leaves you.
And there's
regardless
also a
of how old you are.
certain time that there should just not be kids at the brewery.
Yeah,
Like,
11 o'clock. Actually, it should be earlier than that, but 11 o'clock, get the hell home.
But I think breweries are different than like a bar in the sense of
Maybe so.
There's never I've never seen anybody get super shitty where they're getting thrown out of a brewery.
With
I don't go to Heist or Sugar Creek and watch somebody getting pulled out.
Ma'am, I hate to do this, but your 4-year-old's got to get out.
Yeah,
They're
It
being
just
too
makes me
rowdy.
think of Stan Marsh. This is America.
What do you want? What do you want to do?
Like you don't see somebody at one of the breweries,
Taking their kid in and
taking their kid in a
a
stroller
carrier?
or down in shots and just
trying to get their kid in a carrier
Trying
into a
to fight
21
Bad
up
Dad.
bar. Yeah, that happens.
So they're kind of different tiers. I
That's a
think.
different podcast. You'll have to listen for that one. Actual thing that happened.
Yeah, but shoot.
Do you think there's enough rehearsal space around Charlotte for people, JJ?
I've never actually gone out to try to find rehearsal space. I was lucky, and like all the drummers I've played with have actually had a spot.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was a kind of, I'm not saying it's a requirement, but it's like, how do you practice a big, huge drum kit if you don't have at least an open space to put it?
I know there aren't many places that rent space like the Playroom does. I know there's one other place, but it's
in
more.
Noda, I think, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's just for general use or they cater to musicians.
It's catered to musicians.
Okay, yeah. But I feel like, and I'm not a musician, but I feel like there's not enough of those. And I think there is a market for it.
How many rooms does this place have to rehearse in?
32, around 32.
That's
32
almost
rooms,
enough for
so, yeah.
the entire town. That's ridiculous.
I don't know about that.
But
I mean, it's rare that Eddie has a vacancy,
I'm
too.
just saying,
Yeah,
this is a crazy cool place.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, he put together something very special here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eddie. Very cool, man.
Shout out to Eddie.
What about Ryan? Do you have a physical, like, office space, or do you work out of your home?
Mostly just on my phone, sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly
can't
just
see a
sitting on the
shirt.
couch, man.
Do you have a quote-unquote real job, or is that your real job?
I bartend
Where
on the
at?
weekends. A place in Huntersville called Vinyl Pie.
Okay.
We have live music on Fridays and Saturdays. Sometimes we have like a bluegrass pick and
Is
circle
that
on
the
Wednesdays.
newer part of Huntersville, that old town area?
It's about 2 blocks up from the Old Town area.
Okay, I have a niece that has a business right there across from those railroad tracks in that strip of old
We're probably
buildings.
about 3 minutes from there.
Do you
Okay.
do you book the music there?
Sometimes I help out. We're a little smaller. Most of the acts that I book are bring in 100 to 250 people, so we probably hold 50, 70 people in there.
Yeah, not bad. What do you do for a living there, JJ?
I work for a bank as a financial analyst.
Can you give us the name of the bank, the branch, and also the last 4 of your social?
Wells Fargo. I work at the CIC building. Last for the social. I can't do that.
Okay.
You don't
can,
want my credit score anyway.
Come on, man. CIC, is that up off of a Harris?
Yeah,
I thought
that
so.
big, huge college campus over there.
Yeah.
All right, next time you need a bank loan, hit up JJ.
How do we
I
get
don't
more
think
of
that's
your
what they
banking
do.
friends to
I
come
don't
out
know.
to these shows?
Oh, I actually promote my shows in the office. Like,
Do people come out?
Yeah, people do come out. I'll walk around, just like pass out our stickers. People I don't even know. I don't even care. Like,
You ever tell them, hey, everybody, got these shirts we're selling for charity. It's me. And if you could just buy a couple of shirts.
I
at
do
least
do
10.
that, except for the charity part. I just tell them straight up, it's my band shirt. Like, do you want to buy it? And they do.
What do you guys think is most effective marketing tactic for you guys? Think it's social media?
It's either social media works, but me, I'm a people person. Like, I'm very, very goofy,
You
funny,
seem quite
whatever.
standoffish.
Yeah, I'm usually very, very angry.
Yeah.
I'm just
We
bitter.
fought
as
in the
crazy.
parking lot last night.
I'm like Hank Hill when you don't get him any propane.
After you guys play a show, are you out there like some of those bands with handing out tickets to the next show?
Hand out tickets. I'm giving out stickers. Like, I'll have either Josh or Ben like stand at the merch table, and I'll just like try to get people over. I'll talk to other people. That's like how we learn. Met a lot of the other bands in the scene now, just because we started off not really knowing anyone. Because when we started this band, I hadn't played a show in Charlotte since like 2011, and we started in 2018. So that's a 7-year gap. It's completely different than it was back then. But that's just what I do.
You're right. Nothing beats the face-to-face.
Agree.
I agree.
But you have to have Facebook events for people you're never going to come across. And my girlfriend who cuts hair got me on the Instagram, and I didn't realize how big of a portion of social media I was missing there because I just don't
Yep.
take pictures of things. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
And since you just have to.
You have to have it all. whether you
Instagram's
like it or
been a
not.
really good thing for MadPark.
Yeah. It's like LinkedIn. Sometimes you have to have LinkedIn.
I think it's pronounced LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I had a classmate that pronounced it that way. It was pretty fucking hilarious.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
for musicians.
No matter if
But
you
yeah,
use
Instagram.
I try and go out and hit the evening muse and neighborhood theater, visualize at least once a week or so, each show my face and meet new people.
Do you put up a lot of flyers too? Do you staple them up around or anything?
You have a street crew?
Not as much as I used to. I just don't think they're that effective, man.
Yeah.
When I throw a show at Heist, I get a poster made for Facebook. I send it to them, and they have a printer in house, and they'll hang them in their bathroom,
Yeah.
which is a lot of foot traffic. But as far as just hanging them like around Noda and Plaza
Yeah.
Midwood and stuff, I'm not sure I see the benefit as much
It's
as
not Young Jeezy. The new album drops
Right.
on April 4th.
right. I just
My
don't
mom's
see the
birthday.
benefit as much, especially when you're having to pay to print them off and everything. It's
Yeah.
just an extra cost.
Right.
I'd rather put that money into a sponsored Facebook or Instagram post to reach people
Agreed.
than I wouldn't.
More eco-friendly, too.
I look
Well,
at
it's
that
where we're
as
living
if my
now.
tickets for a show are $15 and I put a sponsored ad for $30 or $50, if 3 people show up, it paid for itself.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's how I look at that.
All right. I know Brian mentioned where you can find him online with Time2Fly and Rec. What was the other website?
RexOnTheWall.com.
Rex on the Wall.
And then where can people find Swamp78?
Instagram, who is Swamp78? Facebook, just Google Swamp78. It'll pop up. Not Google on Facebook. That'd be weird. Just search Swamp78 on Facebook.
I thought you were
pop
younger
right up.
and new technology.
I'm 30. I'm old.
You're
now.
younger.
I'm
You're young
younger
enough to
than
be my
some
other son.
buildings,
You and Reel's the
but-
principal.
Yahoogle? Is that what you say?
Yahoogle. It covers multiple things.
Yahoogle it.
But Facebook and Instagram are our main two that we have right now. We actually don't have a website yet. We're working on that. It's in the works.
I think the other two will carry you over just fine until you get a website, if you do it at all.
I agree.
We have that all because Brian does that for us for free.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian doing
Shout
stuff
out
for
to me
free.
and my free work.
Way to go,
I
Brian.
might have to talk to you later about some more free work if you're down for it.
Free work. What?
Yeah, it's apparently I just do stuff for free.
It's what
It's
they
everyone's
call.
favorite thing.
Yeah, do that one for him, Sonny Bono, or whatever the term is.
I'll do the first one for free, but
I
I'll
was gonna
charge
say
you double.
Sonny
for the second.
Bono, is he gonna like run into a tree? Or...
Oh, hilarious.
I didn't do it.
The
to
guy's
him.
dead, for Christ's sake.
It happened 20
He was
years
daring
ago.
on Bewitched. Calm down. He wasn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say he wasn't daring on Bewitched.
Okay, whatever, dude. You're too young to remember.
Yeah,
I
he
remember
was.
Bewitched.
That was Dick Sargent
We'll
and Dick York.
just say it was.
One of the dicks was daring on Bewitched. How are you going to get two dudes playing the same character back to back, and both of them are named Dick?
I think that was one of the requirements. You had to
Yeah.
be named Dick. Otherwise,
Is your name Richard? I go by Richard. We're going to call you Dick.
I want to know the first person that actually did that. They must have really hated that person named Richard.
What?
Yeah.
Went from, hey, my name is
Richard.
Sir Richard the Lionhearted. No, you're going to be
your
Sir
name's
Dick.
Sir Dick.
Sir Dick of York. Dick York. Get it? All right. I think that handles and covers quite a bit. Thank you very much, JJ from Swamp78.
Thank you.
And Ryan Williams
Thank you guys. Appreciate
from Time to Fly.
it. I appreciate it.
We'll be talking more. We'll be networking more. We'll
Yeah.
be calling upon both of you fine young gentlemen.
Absolutely.
It's been
Look forward
quite
to it.
enlightening. And thank you for your kind words about our facilities here at the Playroom, 916 Tuckasegee. Come and talk to the man, Eddie Z, or set up an appointment, Playroom Online.
Yeah, and hit up Brian because I know he's can help you book some shows because we have a lot of local bands that are always looking, for help to get shows
Yep,
set up.
Absolutely.
Time to
I'm sure he
Fly.
can help you out.
Remember, time to fly. It's time to fly on down to that next jam band.
Yep. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm pretty active on there.
Yeah, but come see him face to face at a show, and he'll probably actually remember you.
Even better this Friday at Heist Brewery.
There you go. And then, JJ, you guys are going to be at?
Hattie's Friday, and on next Thursday, Skylark.
Okay, that's great.
How
Two
much-
great venues.
How much are tickets and what time's the show on Friday?
Friday, it's free over 21, $12 under 21, 7 o'clock, and 7:30 next Thursday. I think that's $10.
Cool.
All right, both of those are great venues, by the way. All
Yes,
three
they
of those
are.
are, including Heist, and Heist has great food.
Yes, they do. And great beer.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
All right.
Sounds
Pilsner.
perfect.
All right, Pilsner and Pelzer, South Carolina. All right, well, thanks for, I would say tuning in, but thanks for listening. And don't forget to check us out, madparkdesigns.com, and don't forget to check out the Playroom Online, serving Charlotte's creative and musical community for over 25 years. And thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.